EAA Chapter 166 in Hartford, Connecticut, home of the van's RV-12 build. You know, the avionics portion of a kit project for some builders is kind of intimidating because it's a critical installation and there are a lot of wires. Luckily for the RV-12, it's easier. Isn't exactly easy. And the aircraft is an ELSA, and for an ELSA, experimental light sport aircraft, the equipment you put in is limited to what the manufacturer offers. For the RV-12, Van's aircraft offers two avionics packages. One is a Garmin G3X Touch, and the other is a Dynon SkyView HDX. Both are incredibly capable systems with large touchscreen color displays. Now this RV-12 is going to get the Garmin G3X Touch package, and it's just arrived from Minnesota-based SteinAir Avionics. They're a respected avionics supplier in the experimental kit build community. And let's go over to Mark Welch, who's taken inventory of the equipment.
Okay. So we've just received our package from SteinAir today, which is the major component of the Garmin G3X system. There's still a second package which comes from Vans, which completes the package. It has the control module and some of the mounting brackets and so forth. But we thought today we'd just go through and actually show you the G3X system and the components that we have that are going to be installed in the RV-12. So the main backbone to the system, GDU 460, which is a 10-inch color display, which is your main interface for all the other components of the system. It mounts basically right in the panel itself, front here. It contains the main connections to a lot of the other components, as well as it's your main touchscreen interface for operating the airplane. For instance, you can do things like control the radio. It gets information from some of the other components, so you can see your engine monitoring, and all this can be displayed in various setups and screens that are on the G3X. And again, it's a touch screen, so it's a very nice interface and so forth. So next we have the transponder. That's their GTX 35R. It's basically a remote mount unit that gets plugged into the G3X, the touch screen, and you control the actual transponder codes and so forth through the G3X. It also has a complementary unit for the ADS-B, the GPS-20A, which plugs into that to allow ADS-B out. This is mounted in the above the panel area out here. So next we have the comm radio. This is the GTR 200B, which is again a specifically designed comm radio to work with the G3X system. It's stereo. It has Bluetooth connections to it, and again, it's specifically designed to integrate with the G3X, so you could actually change radio frequencies with the touchscreen in the G3X. It also has a nice element that when you tune in a specific frequency, it will give you what the local frequency is being used for. So this is one of the remote items that's specifically mounted in the center of the panel here. So next we have the GEA-24. This is the main engine interface module. Basically, it again interfaces with the G3X in that all the engine components come in here, and then they're routed to the touchscreen display, and you can set them up however you want on the G3X screen itself. So these are pre-manufactured wiring that comes from the GEA-24, and it feeds up into the engine bay and goes to like the EGTs, CGTs, and the other various engine monitoring equipment that you have. So those are the basic components that are mounted either on the front of the instrument panel or in front of it, and the other components are mounted elsewhere in the aircraft. Here we have the GMU-22 magnetometer, and is used for determining your magnetic heading and so forth. This is the GSU-25C. It's the ADAHRS unit, which is your air data attitude heading system. Your pitot-static and static lines go in here, and then the air data is got from your heading information from. And that all mounts next to the fuel tank in the back here, just ahead of the bulkhead. Yeah. Your main GPS antenna that mounts up on, just on top of the firewall, and then also a GPS antenna that connects directly to the G3X Touch. So this is a nice feature that comes with the G3X system. It's a integrated battery backup system from TCW. Basically, it allows you to power up your avionics and equipment off of this battery separate from the engine system and so forth, so that you can do all your programming if you want for your flight without affecting you know, your avionics integrating with your engine starting system and so forth. Then once you've started the engine, it automatically switches over and just is used as a battery backup. So if you lost power in flight, it would take over and allow you to land. To move on from the package we got from SteinAir, we received the remainder of the avionics package from Vans. And that includes most of the antennas. We have a bent whip antenna for the comm radio, goes underneath the fuselage. We have the stick and ball type of antenna for the transponder. And we also received the ELT from them, which has its own separate antenna. Okay. So yeah, the second layer of this interface is basically something that I guess Vans designs themselves. It's a control module unit. It allows them to make a simplified method of interfacing either a Garmin or a Dynon system into their plane. Apparently the same module is used for both systems. It's mounted up here, just in front of the G3X, and it connects to all the basic devices that complete the avionics. And you'll see a electrical diagram of how that works, that whole thing is sort of a central piece to all the different components. The other two things that they provide are this power module here, power and switch module that goes in here. This has all of your fuses for your different circuits, as well as your trim, avionics, nav, strobe, and even autopilot here. And the last module is what they call the engine ignition module, which goes over here, and that basically has your start button, your master, and your ignition A and B. So again, as we've shown you, this is the basic instrument panel that comes with the original kit. You'll notice that there's already pre-cutouts for most of these modules that we've talked about it. But because there's various systems that can be used, they provide a separate cutout panel for the Garmin system, because the G3X Touch is a little bit bigger than like the Dynon system or something like that. So this makes life quite simple compared to having to cut all these things in individually on your own. So what you see here is an overall electrical diagram of the RV-12 system. Again, this module that we've been talking about, this control module, is basically this inner square here, and it has all the interconnects between the various components, and all of these various D-sub connections plug into the module, and then it's routed through this control module. So basically, we kind of think of this thing as almost like a plug-and-play kind of avionics approach to things. They provide you with all these modules. They provide you with specific bracketing that goes into behind the instrument panel and allows you to basically mount all these things. A lot of in fact, virtually all of the wiring harnesses are done for you, and they just have to be connected. There are a few terminations here and there throughout for like a light or something like that. But for the most of it, all the harnesses come prefabricated, ready to go. You just have to insert the module, insert the plugs, and you're off and running. So where we go from here, basically, again, similar to the rest of the build for the RV-12, we have numbered sections that comprise the entire Garmin system installation and the remaining components of the avionics. First thing we do in 42F is to install the ELT. Then we move on to the comm and the control module. Then we start to put the various G3X components in and finish up the installation of the avionics.
If you like these RV-12 build videos, show us some love and hit that thumbs up button down below. Thanks for watching. Oh, by the way, that shirt that Welch is wearing came from SteinAir Avionics. And those empty wallets are $18,100 lighter, and proof that we have indeed made SteinAir Avionics very happy. We'll see you next time.